Hey guys, Edgar here, Guns for Everyone. Doing a walk with my children, and I decided to do a quick little video, except as soon as I fucking started the camera, people start rolling up from everywhere. So I'm not gonna make this as long as I want to, but I do want to have a conversation that kind of sparked in Sunday's class, after the class, and then just because the universe is weird, it continued on to yesterday. But I tend to finish my classes with a debrief, asking for feedback. I think if you provide feedback on the internet and not to the instructor directly, there's not much that's being learned. So we always provide feedback at the end, good, bad, whatever. Not a big fan of people going online and saying shit online. But one of the individuals that provided feedback, now let me set the stage though, I guess. Maybe this video is gonna be longer than I thought it was. But throughout the class, whether it be the range, whether it be out in the classroom, we always talk about this idea of your expected benefits should significantly outweigh your known or perceived risks. That's safety as a concept, plain and simply, just safety as a concept. Most everything you do has a risk involved with it. Your expected benefit should significantly outweigh your known or perceived risks. So that's kind of how the way we work. Safety in general doesn't make sense. Well, that needs to apply to the laws as well. So in these conversations, especially on Sunday, we had the conversation about, it always happens, right? What if this happens? Can I legally do this? And our response is always, doesn't matter what the law says. What really matters is, should you? Is it worth it? Now, we understand that we all value life differently. We all value stuff differently. We all value freedom differently. So I can't answer that question for you. This idea of when should I do something? But you should especially not ask the law. There's a lot of laws that, from a self-defense standpoint, don't make sense. You should do it. But there's legal consequences, and there's a risk, legal risk. So we have those conversations. We also talk about this basic understanding that guns are your last resort. And said that again. In fact, another student, he had kind of asked, like, why are the laws written like that? In the state of Colorado, the quote-unquote make my day law says that somebody comes into your dwelling uninvited or unlawfully, and on top of that, somebody's intending, they are or have committed a crime against an occupant or person, then you can use any degree of force, including deadly physical force. That's how our castle doctrine works. Well, this student, this is another student, he asked, why is the law like that? Why do I have to provide another thing? And we talked about it. We had a discussion, how laws are made and all that stuff, but also how, regardless of what the law says, you should do what is needed. We don't believe that a TV is worth the risk, legally, physically, or otherwise, to fight for. But if somebody's posing a threat to you or your loved ones, absolutely it's worth it, legally, physically, or otherwise. Anyways, the class ends, And this particular individual provides feedback. And he says, I wish you would have talked about how guns are the last resort and how guns are no joke and we ought to think about using them and blah, blah, blah. And I think the whole class kind of had this moment like, did you fall asleep, dude? And this is why I like feedback in class and not online. This is exactly why. One of them is to hold each other accountable. But this person heard me say all of the stuff to the other student. This person heard me say, your expected benefit your expected benefit should significantly outweigh your known or perceived risks. He heard me say that. He heard me say fighting for a TV is not worth it, physically, legally, or otherwise. He did not hear me say the way he wanted me to say that guns should be the last resort. And I forget how he worded it, but I did say it. I mean, I did say it, just not the way he wanted me to say it. So I had to remind him, and afterwards he was satisfied. He was like, yeah, we did talk about that. So why am I bringing this up? If you're going to be a student, it is awesome that you question the information, but you should question your own biases. Your biases, whatever, question them. That individual would have left that class believing that we didn't talk about it, and maybe never clicked that we actually did talk about it. We just didn't word it the way he wanted us to word it, but we said it. He just wanted things to be his way, and this shit doesn't work that way. So we're always faced with our blinders, and I'm always afraid that we don't necessarily learn as awesomely as we want to, because we question the instructor, we question the person providing the information, which is good. It's not a bad thing, but we don't question ourselves. So therefore we go seeking potentially bad shit, bad information that gets worded the way we want it to be worded. We were watching, I wouldn't say who, but we were watching somebody drive, and they're kind of swerving, fucking doing this shit. And my daughter and I were talking about it, and then I mentioned, I think this person drives the way they see people on movies drive. And I think that's a problem with self-defense training. Because a lot of humans watch and listen to shit online, and then they think that's reality. Because if you notice on TV, people drive like this, right? They have, that looks weird, but they have the steering wheel and they're fucking just constantly shaking it, constantly correcting it. But no fucking real human drives like that, or else you'd be swerving. But that's what's in your brain. That's what you think life is all about. And we all grow up like that. We all have a bias. We all have a way that we want it to be, the way we believe it should be. And when it's not presented the way we want it to be, we almost reject it. And sometimes it is exactly what we wanted, but it's not wrapped up the way we wanted it to be. But the inside is the same, and at its core it's the same. And then we don't learn because we're so caught up in that person didn't do what I wanted them to do, that person didn't say what I wanted them to say, or the way I wanted them to say it, and then we don't learn. That's unfair to the instructor. That's unfair to yourself. Again, there's nothing wrong with questioning the information. It's not necessarily questioning the instructor. It's questioning the information that's being provided. But again, you ought to question yourself as well. I apologize for all the fingers. I don't have the shit today. I didn't think I was gonna make a video, but fuck it. So anyways, that's kind of some food for thought for you guys. Sometimes you guys suck at learning, not because you're fucking tarded or not because you're dumb, but because you have your own biases and you want shit to be presented in your way, in your style. And that's dumb. Shit's dumb. You gotta sit back and listen to what was said and unfilter it from your bullshit and listen to the words that were actually said instead of whatever bullshit's going on in your head, your traumas, your preconceived ideas, any of that shit. So but anyways, I'm getting tired as fuck. This fucking hill's kicking my ass. The sun came out of nowhere, so now I'm starting to fucking sweat. Which way are we going? We've been lost like a motherfucker. We going that way? All right. We don't know where the fuck we're going. Running out of breath. But anyways, hopefully that shit made sense. If you're new to this, these walks usually don't plan out or anything. Definitely don't edit. So hopefully it all makes sense. Use the comments to talk about it, question the information, even this stuff. I appreciate the few of you guys that have been sharing this and telling people about this. That's the only way the algorithms pick it up. YouTube doesn't like us. So you commenting and sharing kind of helps us out. So I appreciate you guys. Have a good one.